Good afternoon everyone and welcome to today's webinar. For those who don't know my voice, it's Mike that will be covering effective prospecting and how you can use Prima to maximise your efficiency in gaining these new customers and getting them to start placing orders through you. So what we're going to be covering today is a little bit of how you can create and manage prospects efficiently, how you can find the prospects within Prima, and then how you can act upon it. So there's going to be a bit of a process to what we're doing, so it's how you can get them in the system, find them in the system, and then actually act upon it and market towards these prospects. So first of all, what we're going to be going through is how you can create them and how you can get them into your system. So there's a few ways that you can actually set up and create your prospects, and the first way that we've got is just simply when you're setting up a customer, you can go to new record company, and it's a case of within here we can assign the company type to be a prospect once you've filled all the information in, and that'll allow it to be marked as a prospect. So when you're doing your searching a little bit later on, which I'll show you, it'll be coming up within your system as a prospect. The alternative way of actually setting up customers and setting up a large group of prospects, if you don't want to go through them one by one, is using something like the import template that we have here. We can send a list of all these import templates across to you at your own request, and it's just a case of populating the fields with the relevant information. And then especially if you're going to be doing your prospects, you want to be setting this column to be yes, and that'll enable it to show up as a prospect within Prima. So if you do require any, if you're going to be doing some prospecting and want to be able to import a load of prospects at once rather than doing them one by one, just contact our customer service team and we're more than happy to forward these templates onto you. So once you've actually created it, the next bit you actually want to go through is actually finding your prospects, and there's a number of different ways that you can find these prospects within your within Prima. So you can find them either on a company level or on a contact level, depending on what you actually want to cover. So if you're looking to find the companies, the main way that we go in is through company and companies on this left hand side, and then there's a number of different ways that you can actually search upon these. So the standard way is just coming into this section and searching within the company type on prospect, and then just hitting a return with all your prospects. So you can see there with a big long list of all the prospects and companies within your database. What you can also do is within here using these classifications that we've got set up. So you can see that we've got some classifications set here at the top and then others at the bottom. There will be a slight difference. It will go into these more in depth and how you can customize these and make them sort of more useful to yourself rather than just having a standard classification. A little bit later on I'll show you how you can set that up, but what you can do, you can come into this section and by hitting the blue bar at the very top, you can expand your search and customize this. So if you want to search on sort of prospects for a certain account manager, so if you want to search on sort of anyone that I'm the account manager for, just select that user, do a search, and if there was any, it would show up. And that way you can easily export lists, export sort of that certain group in and give them to your account manager, and that'll enable them to contact them and get in touch. But you can use these areas, you can use the classifications, even business groups. So if you've got certain business groups set up, you can go in there and say, well, I want to find all prospects that schools want to do a marketing campaign on schools, and if they were set up, there isn't any in this database, which is a bad example, but you can use the business groups if they're set up within your database to be able to find certain prospects within a certain grouping in order to do like a marketing campaign or something on later on. There are two classifications that we can see at the top. You can see one that says CM1 and then numbers, and then we've got at the very bottom CN1 as well, 1 to 6 and CN 1 to 6. And the difference between them is these are set within the classification level. So if we just search within the company level, so these are within the marketing tab, and then you've got the contact specific ones just a little bit below. So to actually enable a classification, if we just search for a company, we can go into here, and there's two sections I've just said, so we can apply it against the marketing tab. So once the company's loaded in the marketing tab, we have these classifications which you can customize, and then against the contact. So it's just a case of once you've set these up and named them, which I'll show you now, you can just go into the select from the drop down of information you can add in, and then you can easily group them, classify them, then search and then things. So to actually set them up, we want to go into the admin, and within the admin we go into general. So this is to customize the classification labels. Then within general we have user defined labels, and within here again we've got company and contact. So if I click into this company, what you may want to do within these classifications is easily say, well, I want to see target product group, for example. So you could be speaking to this this prospect sort of quite a lot, and you may be after, say, all they use a lot of paper and ink. You know, that's one of their main product groups that you're aiming for. And from here you can easily just classify this, give that the label name, and then when you're in Prima you can set up and assign inks, toners, furniture, whatever it might be, as one of the target product groups. And easily then within the company search, is what I've just shown you, you can expand that search and search on them classifications. So if you want to look for all prospects that are so you're looking to get your as ink and toners, you can offer them a great deal with the new supplier that you've got, and you can easily find that list that are in that product group and then act upon that. Another one that you may want to use is previous supplier, or current supplier should I say, because of the prospects. And with the current supplier you can put into whoever it is that they may be with. For example, they could have been having some issues with delivery as an example, and you may want to act upon that, saying, you know, don't be having your stationery or your important ink and toner late, get next day delivery with us, send it in a marketing campaign, wherever it might be. This is an example of how you can use the classification. So you can put in there whoever the supplier is and easily be able to find sort of from your list of products who's with who. Once you're happy with it, just rename it, save and close. And then you can take that back into the company. If I just give it a refresh, within the marketing tab you can see that we've got target product group and current supplier. So from in there you can easily import whoever and whatever groupings within there, and then search upon them within the listing here, which will make it a lot easier when you're sort of trying to find the sort of your products. It makes it easier to break it down really. One other thing that you can actually use within the customers, which is something that only a few customers do use, is the hot and cold. So if I just go back into this company, and within the main tab, one thing that we do that is in Prima that may be of use to some customers, again not all customers do use this but some do, and it's the ability to set them whether they're hot, cold or warm. So if you've been speaking to a client looking at tendering for a new contract and you want to sort of gauge how it is with them, and you know you may feel that they're relatively good, you know that you're in constant communication with them about new deals and things like that, you may value them as a hot customer. So you can assign these as a hot prospect, and from there you can say send them out a voucher for the next order if you just to get them across the line. Wherever it is, you can label sort of the percentage or the likelihood of you actually gaining them as a customer using this hot, cold and warm. So rather than you spending time on a cold prospect, someone that's not really giving you the time to talk to you about the products and services that you offer, it may be worthwhile using this prospect sort of level to spend your time more on the customers that are more likely to actually become a customer. Once you've actually signed and set up the customers, it's how you the prospects, sorry, it's how you can actually act upon them that will make the difference. So it's all well and good setting them up, you know, to be able to find them and search them easily and be able to find in the relevant groupings, but how you act upon that will be the big change. So there's a few things that we do have in Prima that enable that to be sort of relatively easy for you, and the main way of doing that is through contacts, and mainly through the contact grid manager. So you can do all the same searching within the contact lookup just to find out sort of the key buyer, but within the contact grid manager there's a lot more that we can do in here. So what you could do, for example, you could come in here and say, well, I want to search on sort of business group, anyone that's a plumber, sort of all my plumbing contacts, whether they're a prospect and if the primary contact. So you don't want to just contact the accountant or whoever you've got details for. You want to make sure it's the primary contact, the person that's going to be buying. And you can come in here and do whatever search you want to find and to specify that grouping. So it could be you want to search on anything that's in the area, north, south, east, west, wherever it is that you want, whatever search you want to do, you can come in here and do that search. And once you've got the search, there's only one prospect for this. What you can do within this change tab, there's a few options that we can actually run through. So once you've found the grouping of prospects that you want to say market towards or get the account managers to contact, from here you can actually action them. So There are two options we've got in here. Now these are usually assigned sort of with the CRM query that you can run within this contact grid manager, but that's mainly for your current customers that are buying. So this is you actually getting the customers to that stage. So what we can do, we can actually create a journal assigned to the account manager. So what you can do is set up in here and say, well, for the account managers, these are all the plumbing prospects, whatever it might be, the grouping it might be, and then you can put a note in there and say, well, contact as soon as. And what that will do, it'll then create a journal and assign to the account manager and set up as a task within their dashboard if you've got that set up. And what that is a quick and easy way for you to get to your account managers, tell them to contact these customers by just doing that list. So you can do them searches on whatever it is you want within the prospects and easily act upon that and get your account manager to act upon that and give them a call. Once you've obviously give that option, then you can just hit apply. The other option that you've got is sending the contacts to the address book. Now this will only really be useful if you do integrate with either sort of MailChimp or .mailer, the email marketing tools that we integrate with. So if you're integrated with that, what you can do within here is do your specific search, find the prospects that you're looking for, and export that contact list to your email marketing tool. And from there you can send out sort of marketing emails, things like that, which will make it easy for your customers to find out that you're looking to see if you can benefit their business, benefit their company, and save them money. And that's the best way to act upon that in bulk, sort of with efficiency, rather than having to go into each of them, remember to call them, tick them off. You can just go into assign journal, send to the address book, and act upon it with ease, so you can contact them, find that grouping within a couple of minutes. The other thing that you can do within here, which is just moving on from how you can act upon that, is actually an easier way to assign classifications. So you can do specific searches within here and then come in here and add classifications, remove classifications, and update sort of things against contacts within here, which makes it sort of the first part of actually managing and creating your prospect list a lot easier and a lot quicker, so which will benefit you in the long run to make this whole process more efficient and more effective. The last thing I want to cover is just actually setting up journals. So you may have spoke to a certain prospect, you may have met them at a show, whatever it might be. You may want to just keep a track of what you've been doing and how you've been going with them. And the best way to do that within Prima is actually using the journals, because it's something that you can refer back to. You can see the time, the date, other people can see what you've been doing with them, and you can keep a track of how that works. And it's just a case of going into the company. It may be that you've spoke to Mike's Plumbing, and you want to just assign a journal just about what you've talked about and what you're going to be doing upon that. We can go into the journal section. It's just a case of creating a journal within here. So it could be that I create a callback subject, prospect discussion. You can categorize it, so if you want to just put all your prospecting into one certain category, you can just hit add item, create your own category, and from there act upon it. So you want to put some information about sort of whatever it might be. Spoke about new supplier, we'll be sending a catalogue. So easily what you can do from there is act upon that. You say, yeah, this is what we're going to be, this is what I've done, this is what we're going to be doing. And it's all about keeping track of where you're up to with these customers, making sure that they're getting the relevant information, the correct information, and you're actually contact them and speaking to them. So it's all about keeping track of what you've been doing. And that's the main bulk of the prospect and how you can be efficient within the system. If you do have any further questions about this, me and Ollie will be hanging around on the live chat for a little while. And if you want any one-to-one training on this to cover some of the bits more in depth, so if you're looking to get the CRM set up, then just contact our training department or customer services team, and we're more than happy to talk you through and book some time in to go through that. But apart from that, I hope you've enjoyed today. If you need anything else, we'll hang around for a little bit while. But apart from that, enjoy your weekend.